you remember it like yesterday. It's one that I'd like to now forget, just in the way that it all kind of played out. But yeah, it does. It has been a year, and it does not feel like that at all.
And you guys recently had your own little outing to a Thomas Rhett concert, obviously. So tell me all about it.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we got lucky. We were lucky enough to. Blake, have you ever been to Montana? I don't remember if you've been to Montana.
No, that was the first time for me.
Yeah, so both of our first times Montana, so that in itself was really exciting. Both of us being, outdoorsy type, me growing up in the mountains, and obviously Blake, being super passionate about everything that he does. So that in itself was awesome. But then also we were lucky enough to be a part of the launch of Sitka Studio in Bozeman, Montana, which was really, really, really cool. I had a blast, met some amazing people, and it was all for a really, really awesome cause.
Yeah, to jump on that, obviously, as soon as I saw the conservation aspect to this, I wanted to jump in on it. But I also wanted to go to Montana. I should have stayed a couple more days to do Yellowstone and do that whole thing. But it was cool to see both Thomas and Brad, the creative mind, kind of behind Sitka Studio, talk to us personally behind stage and see the passion and why they're doing this and why this is important. So that really gave it an extra oomph to be there and support something that is truly meaningful. And you could see that they were really passionate about it. So it was just cool to be a part of that, and those guys who, are big deals. So,
were you fans of the show Yellowstone? Because
yes.
That's all I know about Montana, and that's why I
yes, yeah, no, definitely. And it was cool to see, in Montana, everyone looks like they're from Montana. They have the cowboy hats, they have the plaids, and tucked in shirts with the belt buckles. It was cool to get that experience.
Well, tell me obviously a little bit more about the conservation efforts and what the money we're raising money for. So everyone understands that a little bit more.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Blake.
Blake,
you go ahead.
Blake, nail it. Blake,
you want me to take it?
Go for it. I'll jump in.
Okay. Well, I actually also one of the coolest things about this last weekend was seeing these people, these creative minds, and the people who are passionate about conservation and what they do, and them all coming together for this incredible, moment. So basically, Martin Guitar Studio and Thomas Rhett, who I think most people know, kind of came together in an ambitious waterfowl research project to raise money for this waterfowl conservation project. And basically what was the coolest part is they had this idea, and I remember Thomas Rhett was talking about this, but they're all sitting around a fire pit, as country as it gets, as Montana as it gets, and they were kind of discussing a way to raise money, and they mentioned this guitar and how he wanted a custom guitar created by a real creative mind. He's like, some people slap camouflage on it or whatever it is, but they actually created this amazing guitar, with this amazing art in it and this custom guitar. And so basically going to auction off this guitar. It's a customized Martin HD28. And then Sitka plans to match up to $50,000 to help fund all the efforts. So that's kind of why we were out there, and we were able to, we feel very honored to be able to be a part of such a cool, such a cool project.
Yeah, just to kind of add to that, Sitka gear is very conservation oriented, which I think that it's something that I think people don't realize. And so when it comes to waterfowl research, and specifically mallard ducks, which is the species they're focusing on, they want to try and find out with what the funds raised is to where they're going, their migration patterns. This is a duck that's found all over the world, the widest spread species of duck in the world. It's the one that you probably see the most often with the green head. You probably fed it bread off your dock. And so, it's just basically putting this funds to basically the most well-known duck. And that's basically what it's going towards. Ducks, every single type of species is important in our ecosystems. Ducks is one of them. I think it's something that people don't really think about too often. We focus on bigger species, but it was cool to see something that's focused specifically on ducks, which is a big part of also Sitka gear. So,
got it. Makes sense. Feels like a worthy cause to me. When did you guys meet? How long have you been friends?
When did we? I guess
you know what? I actually reached out to Blake originally, when I first came off the first season I was on. I went to Blake for some advice on some things, and we kind of touched base that way. When you get off the show, you start to find ways as to who can I talk to about how to prepare for what you're going to dive into. Blake was one of the people that I got in touch with through Lori.
Yeah, and then I think in person was our first meet. Were we in LA? Oh, I don't know.
You know what?
First met in person, to be honest.
Either do I. But like, it was a while after we had actually spoke on the phone and texted a few times.
A long time, honestly. Yeah, it was a long time. In fact, I think it was even after 80 season, I think, is when we met in person. So yeah, we had been talking already and DMing for like a good year and a half, I think, maybe even longer. And then we met in person. Yeah. So.
Well, it's officially been a year for you, Blac M, since everything has aired and you've been off the television and all that. How do you feel looking back? Does it feel like a long time ago, or does it feel like yesterday?
In some way, it kind of still feels like yesterday, and I think only because this time off the actual show and television is one thing, but when things continue to kind of spiral off that, and it's 6 months later, all that stuff kind of happened after the actual finale of the show, that it kind of keeps up with you in a way, and you're still getting tagged in things all along the way, and memes and this that makes you feel like you never got out of it in a really weird way. So you remember it like yesterday. It's one that I'd like to now forget, just in the way that it all kind of played out. But yeah, it does. It has been a year, and it does not feel like that at all.
I mean, I feel like you could answer this a couple ways, but biggest takeaway from the past year, if you had to pick one.
Ooh, you know what? I like to just give people all my trust, and then if they break it, they break it, whatever. I think that I'm more veering on the side of making people earn trust is, I think, the way that I'm starting to go with things. Just the way that I feel like I've been let down in a lot of situations, both in relationships, just lots of different categories. And so the last year, that's kind of my biggest takeaway, is to make people earn their trust and stop just giving it away.
Ooh, I like that. Well, Blac H. You've been in a relationship, probably you're about to get to that 1 year mark in a different way. How are things going over there?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It will be a year here in December. So I'm creeping up on 12 months, it's been a minute since I've dated a girl for a year. So it's been awesome. It's been amazing. Honestly, it's been incredible. It was strange because we had to first keep our basically 6 months of our relationship private. So that was fun in a sense because we didn't have the public pressure. We didn't have all the eyes on us. We could just kind of be ourselves. But it was hard too because like hiding, it's never fun to like hide the person, you love. Like that's not a fun thing to do. So
everybody knew also. So you guys were
we weren't good at it. We weren't very good at it. Yeah. But yeah, then, I was nervous to kind of go out. Public relationship. Like I've been in the public eye, quote unquote, for like 4 years now, but this is the first time I've dated somebody in public. So I was very nervous about that and I wasn't sure what to expect, but honestly, it's been incredible. I cannot believe the support from both Bachelor Nation and honestly, like the Love is Blind area, the Netflix side of things. It's been amazing. So the last year has been pretty magical. So can't complain over here.
What makes this relationship different than any relationship you've had before?
Oh gosh, I mean a lot of different things. I think the one thing that we do differently that I've never had in any kind of relationship, and that is just, I think it's come from our past and kind of some of the relationships we've been in, some of the situations we've been in. We both handle conflict incredibly well. I've never had a relationship where, if you're in a fight, if you're in some kind of conflict, instead of holding grudges or doing whatever, like we talk it out. Or even if it's like we're not able to talk it out now, we go to separate rooms, we cool down, we come back and we talk it out. And then it's kind of the first time too where we don't have the same fight over and over because we're able to talk it out and we get over it. We come to a conclusion, if you will. So that's been something I've never had before. There's just conflict resolution. And I think it's so important in our relationships. And I have that now, which has been great.
Well, on the flip side of it, Blac M, are you dating? Are you actively dating? Are you looking for someone to have that conflict resolution with?
Yeah, I took a break for a long time. I was focusing on all these other things. And, I think naturally, when you're in bed at night, like it's something you do want. We naturally want to find that person and that love. And so I started diving back into it again, trying to for the last 5 weeks or so. And I went on a couple dates here and there. But again, I just it didn't go so hot. It didn't go so well. I didn't love how it went. And so again, projects and things come up where it's starting to take my my efforts elsewhere. And if I don't think I can fully put the effort into actually trying to make a relationship work, it's going to take someone super special who is patient and very supportive. And I just haven't felt like I've ran into that yet. So I'm reluctant to go there if I can't give it my all.
All right. And overall, probably not going to be looking on television anytime soon?
I never say never, right?
Okay.
I never say never, but I would say unlikely on the dating show aspect of things. At least there's some other projects I'm working on wildlife related, but for the most part, dating, I think I'll keep that to the real world.
I think we need like a dating in the wildlife show for you.
That could work.
I would tune into that.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, well, I agree.
Something you're not tuning into, Blac H, is The Bachelor anymore. At least that's what you said at one point. Is that still where you stand?
Yeah, I haven't, obviously it's like kind of like Blake just kind of mentioned, it's like, it's very hard to escape everything. You follow certain pages, you follow whatever it is, you follow your friends who they post about it. So it's hard to escape. But yeah, I didn't watch any of Gabby and Rachel's season, and I haven't watched any of this Paradise. But obviously, like, I know the things that happen. It's hard to escape as much as I want to. It's not easy, but it's been a relief. It's kind of, for me, and I think for most people, Bachelor Nation can be a bit toxic at times. And just kind of like phasing that toxicity out of my life has been a blessing, and it's been great for me. I'm not saying it's great for everybody, but it's been great for me. But I still am rooting for a lot of my friends who are in Bachelor Nation, who are actually going to be on this season of Paradise, who are on it currently. So I'm rooting for them, and I wish everybody the happy ending that they're looking for.
Do you guys watch Love Is Blind?
So we are going to recap season 3 of Love Is Blind, which I think airs here pretty quick in a couple weeks, but I've never watched it. So I'm kind of excited because the way she talks about it, it's way crazier than Bachelor and Bachelorette, I feel like. So I'm actually pretty excited to watch it.
Oh, it's
the
best television show ever.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Get ready. Blac, do you watch any of them anymore, or did you ever?
I watched them here and there. Once I became friends with Natalie, then I watched this most recent thing that she was on, the reunion or whatever that was.
Oh, the Love Is Blind after the altar thing.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that only because I met Natalie, and then she told me some things on the inside scoop, so I had to see how it all played out on TV. But for the most part, that was all I got into.
And you and Natalie are just friends.
Promise, we're just friends.
I forgot about that. That was all over.
Me too. That just triggered it for me. I was like,
that's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, I did only want to ask because you have been on Paradise, Blac H. They're doing this thing this year where they're splitting up the couples at one point to bring in the newbies, like Love Island style. And I feel like it's, as a viewer, exciting. As a person on the show, probably not so much. Do you have any thoughts on that whole concept? And did I explain it correctly?
Yeah, I think that's so. From also, I've heard like rumors about it's like an actual name for it, right? It's
the Casa Amor is what they call it on Love Island.
Yes, yeah, that's what they call it. So I heard they're literally just like copying that right from Love Island. They were like, but I think you're right. As a viewer, I'm like, hell yeah, chaos, drama, like this is gonna be amazing. But I think as like a contestant, I think it's frustrating because we just had one of the most successful Paradise seasons ever, right? We had maybe like 4 or 5 relations come out of this, and the show is always just so much like, we're here for the right reasons, and we're here to find people love. Well, then why all of a sudden completely change the entire whatever you want, like
format?
Yes, format, and to bring in more drama and create more, like chaos, instead of really trying to find these people a match and a partner. So I think from that sense, as a contestant, I think I'd be very frustrated. But as a viewer, hell yeah. I guess it's going to make for good TV. But it's just, I think people are going to want to also one of the coolest things about Paradise is the relationships that come out of it. And if you continue to throw these insane curveballs and make it so much harder, I think the audience is going to be like, what the hell? Like I can watch Real Housewives if I want to watch drama and chaos. Like I want to watch these shows, for love. So, but we'll see how the audience responds.
All right. Well, you mentioned that you guys you've given each other advice before. You've sought advice. Blac H, what is your advice for Blac M? As he does try to tip his toe back into everything after his whirlwind year.
Tell me how to do it, Blac.
You're helpless, man. You're helpless. No,
no, he's not. He's not. But for the sake, for fun.
Kidding. No, I mean, honestly, I think he's doing it the right way. I think he's letting his heart mend, his mind mend, his mental health, kind of get better and everything. And I'd take it slow. Like, there's no rush. That's the biggest, I guess, piece of advice I'd say is there's no rush to get in a relationship. And if you get in a relationship, don't go public right away. I think that's kind of a huge thing, which I think you're smart enough to already do that. But definitely don't go public with it for a while until you are sure, very sure. But keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing just fine, Blac.
We're saving ducks, so we'll circle back. I'll let you guys go. We're
Even
saving
better,
the
we're
ducks
saving ducks.
with a customized guitar that is going to be auctioned off. Anything else that we need to know about all of that?
I think it's a one-of-a-kind piece that's you're not going to see a collaboration like this again that goes towards a specific cause like this, which is really cool. So anyone who, I guess, even it would be a hunter, conservation, wildlife, animals in general, and you can combine that with someone who has that music passion as well, get those bids in. If it's for you or somebody else, a gift, really, really cool. You're getting it for a steal, probably based on the collaboration of Thomas Rhett. So, get your hands on this because it's for a great cause and it's a really cool piece.
The link for the bid is in both of our bios on Instagram. So be sure to go to our Instagram pages and click the link in the bio and throw some money. Like obviously you get an awesome guitar, but also like we said, sick of matches up to $50,000 towards Waterfowl research. So pretty cool events and pretty cool opportunity for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day. This is really cool, and it was fun to talk to you together as a bouncing back and forth.
To Blake's.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.